Hey, what's up, everyone? John here, Chief Motivator over at Method 3 Fitness, and I'm back with what is going to be an awesome digital learning experience. So I can't wait for you guys to dive in. I'm here with Travis Barnes of Journey 333, which was formerly Journey Fitness. And Travis is the CEO of that company. He's got 4 locations, and he's about to embark on a very exciting adventure in 2019 with franchising even more locations. Yeah, so more lives change, baby. I love it. So welcome, Travis. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor to be here.
So today what Travis and I are going to dive into is a lot about improving the way you think. So the mindset and the strategy behind how to make 2019 one of your best years ever. And I know that a lot of our partners at Method 3 and just anyone watching this really, as you embark on every year, there's a certain feeling of just newness and excitement as you're starting a whole new year with what you're going to be able to accomplish. And a lot of that, for a lot of people is, how can I take better care of myself? How can I, finally achieve my goals and lose that 20 pounds and just stay consistent with my workouts finally? And that's what Travis and I are going to dive into, because for as long as I've known Travis, he has achieved some incredible things in his life. He's got a book, actually, if you ever want to read all about it. And he's one of the best planners, executors, and motivators, I think, that I know. And so I'm really excited to have him share some of his strategies so that you guys can take some of this awesome information and really apply it to 2019 and hopefully, forever after that. So Travis, just to start off, if you want to kick it off with maybe a few of the tips or strategies that you would really advise people to take a look at, do as it comes into 2019 to really achieve their goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, thank you for that plug. We have the book Journey Fitness talking about our journey. Everybody has some adversity to overcome. And so we shared the adversity that helped us start our business. And now we have a book called 52 Amazing Journeys, which is what we'll be talking about today, is how you can have an amazing journey, right? The first thing that we got to do is we got to be smart about it. Now, if I'm talking to some fit pros out there, then the fit pros are going to say, oh, I understand SMART goals. But, it's not all that common knowledge, right? Common sense is always so common. Sometimes we say, like, oh, I just want to lose weight. Well, lose weight, how much weight? See, a SMART goal means that it's specific, that it's measurable, that it's attainable, that it's realistic, that it's time-bound. So to just kind of shorten that up a little bit, you can't just say, I want to lose weight or be more fit. You're never going to call up your coach and say, hey, I got great news. I'm more fit now.
Right.
I've hit that goal. So lose 30 pounds and lose 30 pounds by when? If it's going to be realistic and attainable, then it's probably going to be 1 to 3 pounds per week. So maybe you're going to lose it over the course of the next 3 months. So, you start off January 1st and you're like, okay, then 3 months from now, I'm going to be down 30 pounds, right? So, just kind of advance that 12 weeks. So you're there at the end of March. That's one thing. It's good to have a SMART goal, but honestly, that's just superficial, right? It's superficial because it could be a very specific, it could be a very measurable goal, but what's going to drive you? What's going to make you get up every day and do it? What's going to keep you going after most people quit? Only 8% of people achieve a New Year's resolution. Only 8%. So crazy. 92% quit. There's 2 of us on this call right now. We might not even make the cut. But what we're saying is only 1 out of 10 people, right? So how can you be that 1 out of 10? How can you be part of that 10% group? Well, you have to ask yourself why, and keep asking yourself why. Why do I want to do this? Because you got to get emotionally connected to that goal so that you don't hit snooze on the alarm clock too many times and not make it. So there's such a big yes that no's come easy. And what I mean by that is you don't have to say no to so many things if you got just a really big yes, right? And your big yes comes from things that are just very emotionally connected to you, right? It's okay to say, I want to like what I see in the mirror every day. I want to have confidence in me. When I feel better about me, I feel better about others. If I can love me more, I can love others more. Mm-hmm. Or maybe if you're doing something that's even more medical, maybe you can be like, I realize that with this high blood pressure, these high blood sugars, this cholesterol levels, whatever it is, I realize that with this excess weight that's giving me sleep apnea, that I really am probably going to die sooner.
Yeah.
And nobody that I know of, nobody in their right frame of mind is trying to get off this planet any sooner than they have to, right?
Yeah.
So like, what if it's just to live longer? What if it's to be around for that spouse? What if it's to be around for the kids or for the grandkids? Let's get emotionally connected. Let's ask ourselves why so many times that we are just so strongly connected that we got such a big yes to this goal that it was like a driving force that we have no problem waking up to every day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, be smart, but be emotional, right?
Absolutely.
I think that those are.
Well, and I think just to reinforce that, you know, I think a lot of people, we talk about that all the time with our partners, and when people are actually like, even before they even enroll with Method 3. And that's the one aspect. I love the way you said it, though. It's not necessarily finding your why, it's finding your big yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that emotional attachment is so important, and yet that's one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle that everyone misses, right? They're not taking the time to even ask those questions, right? They're not taking the time to do it. And sometimes it's because they don't really want to go that deep on themselves, right? And the fact and the truth of the matter is, when they do, they uncover these big yeses, and it will fire you up, right? And then put those things front and center where you can see them, so you can just keep that drive going and motivation behind the goal. Because if not, you know, then it's just these random words that you wrote down, like you said, for your SMART goal. It's just a superficial thing. And it's like, okay, well, if I get there or not, whatever. And it's like, well, no, that's not true, because, you know that if you get down there, you're going to feel better, you're going to look better, you're going to have more confidence, you're going to play with your kids more, you're not going to be winded and feel embarrassed when you can't run around with your kids. Like, there's a lot more attachment to it, right? Or like you said, you're going to live longer, right? So, yeah, great stuff.
What if we looked at it like a race? Like, what if we looked at it like a race? Like, you know, sometimes you start a race, maybe get a little tired, and you're like, oh, man, it doesn't matter if I finish, right? Because maybe it was just you out there running. But what if your wife and kids were waiting at the finish line, and you would never see them again if you didn't finish, right? Like, I mean, because here's the idea.
That's great. I love that analogy.
I mean, think about it that way, right? Yeah. Because, like, if you don't finish a race, that's a real possibility. It's a real possibility that you're not here as long as you could be on this planet Earth to make a difference in their lives and in the lives of others. And so you need that motivation. You got to ask yourself why, because then you'll not only finish the race, but you'll finish the race in record time, right?
Yeah.
You get very connected to why, and now you'll be setting personal best and finishing the race.
I love it.
And then I would say another couple tips for me is public declarations. At Journey, we have a New Year's resolution board. And we ask everybody, we say, hey, will you write your New Year's resolution on the board? You know, we'll come out, we'll be like, hey, it's that time of year. And, you know, put it up there. But not only put it up there for us to see and for you to see every time you walk in the gym, but for others to see. So they ask you about it, right? There's an old saying, and the saying goes that a goal not written down is simply a wish. Mm-hmm. We don't want to be halfway committed. We want to be publicly declaring, this is what I'm going to do. You know, you might have a cruise coming up in April or something fun coming up that you're going to do. And you're like, by that time, I'm going to be a size this, or I'm going to have a six-pack, or I'm just going to be able to wear that dress I want to wear. And you just tell your friends about it. And once you tell your friends about it, remember who you told.
Yeah.
Because it's a support group. So you not only want to make a public declaration. So like, let's kind of backtrack here. Be smart, be emotional, make a public declaration. And those people that you're declaring to, make sure that they're the people that are going to support you through this, like your workout buddies, your coaches, different family, people living in your household that like, you're like, hey, please don't eat that ice cream while I'm trying to have the salad, you know, or whatever, you know, like somebody that like won't put all these sabotaging items in front of you, right? So make sure that you talk to them about it. And then with that support, that's what it comes down to. That's how things are best achieved, is that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So who are you going to spend time with that's going to take you to your goals? And how are you going to change the relationships with the people that you currently spend time with? Because I'm not telling you to move out of your house. Like, don't be around kids when he's eating Oreos or she's eating candy or whatever it is. But I'm saying, you know, be so emotionally connected and so smart about it and make such public declarations that you can actually enlist those people into your support group, and that everybody's working towards your goal with you. It's so much better than being a lone ranger.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it, man.
So,
go ahead.
Well, so I would say that, you know, those are probably 4 of my 5 pillars, but, you know, go
4 of your 5 pillars. Okay. So, So before we get to the fifth pillar, what happens when life happens, right? And I get sick, I'm out for a week, I should rest my body. That's what my coaches are saying. I don't want to like cough over everyone when I'm in the gym in the studio. Then my kid gets sick, then I've got a work deadline and crises, and I blink, and before I know it, I'm off of my nutrition for whatever reason, and I didn't do my meal prep, and I haven't been in the studio or gym, I haven't worked out for like 2 or 3 weeks. And now what? Now I'm feeling super demotivated, and I'm like, you know what? Just forget about it, right? So what do they do then, right? Because I think that's very common. I talk with clients a lot of time. I said, look, the reason we're on this journey with you and we're trying to partner with you is because life is just a series of ebbs and flows. Like, and it's never going to be this awesome trajectory of life. Like, oh, it's all just rainbows and unicorns, And so how do you weather those storms? Because for a lot of people, so as life goes is as their fitness goals go. And so, how do you help your clients weather those storms and get back on track?
Well, this actually feeds in perfectly, because this is pillar number 5. Pillar number 5 is forgive yourself. And I'd like to give credit right now to my friend and mentor, Rachel Cosgrove, because she told this story, and I've definitely retold it a few times, but she was the first one I ever heard it from. I don't know where she got it. Maybe she came up with it on her own.
Yeah.
But she was the first one I ever heard it from. And she asked this question, and she said, if you were driving along on a journey, because that's what you're going to do, new year, new you, journey to a new you, you're driving along on your journey, right? And you get a flat tire. She said, let me ask you, would you get out of the car, look at that flat tire and say, man, I'm going to flatten the other 3 right now. I'm just going to go poke a hole in all of them because I'm so mad that this one's flat, right? Now, I know that sounds crazy. So then think for a second how crazy we must be when we fall off our diet a little bit, and then we're like, oh, well, I'll just, be bad all weekend because, I was already bad on Friday, so I'll be bad on Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday rolls around and you don't get back on track. What you did is you said, I had one flat, so now I'm going to flatten it on Friday. I'm going to flatten it, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so now you got 4 flats. Here's the ticket. Here's the ticket to get back on track. The ticket to get back on track is forgive yourself, because the best time to get back on track is as soon as you got off track. And life is going to happen. I think it was John Lennon who said, life is what happens when we're making other plans. Life is what happens when we're making other plans, so you got to have a contingency plan for when life happens. And so you might get sidelined for a second. If you work with your coach and you get an injury, just remember this. I've had people tell me that they can't work out their whole body because they got a little shoulder, a little elbow problem. You still got 3 good quadrants to train. You still got a core to train. You're good. Just keep going. Ask your coach for help. If you fall off track with your diet, get right back on track. If something gets in the way of your schedule, reprogram your schedule. Go back to that emotional reason why this was so important to you and say, okay, well, I can't work out in the evenings like I used to. Is it worth for me getting up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or doing what I have to do to readjust my schedule so that I can still get it in? And if you got emotionally connected to your goals, you're going to have a resounding yes.
Absolutely.
So I think that is like our big 5 right there as to how to stay on track.
That's great. That's great. So I think, 5th pillar, forgive yourself. That's a big thing. I think a lot of people are so hard on themselves. I mean, we chat with them about our partners when they're coming in for their goal check-ins, every 30 or 45 days. And, the tendency and the first, gut instinct is, well, I didn't. And it's like, it's automatically the negative, right? They could have lost, I don't know, 5, 6, 8, 10 pounds since the last time we measured them or, did whatever, but they're focusing on what didn't go well, right? And it's like, well, let's focus on some of the positive here. Forgive yourself if you had any setbacks, right? And just move on. And I love the idea of, not just forgiving yourself, but maybe having some type of contingency plan. It's another thing I think that people don't think through. And it's not like you have to have a contingency plan for every, well, what about if I get sick? Or what about if I injure myself? Or what about if you don't have to go crazy with stressing yourself out for contingency plans. But if you usually do meal preps on Sunday and you guys are traveling over the weekend, visiting someone, then Cool. Sunday becomes, well, I'm not going to be able to meal prep today. I'm going to go to Whole Foods and the prepared section, make some good choices, and set myself up for like at least Monday and Tuesday with some good meals. Great, yeah. Right? You know, and that might cost you a little bit more than if you meal prepped it yourself, but you're going to win because you're going to feel good. You're going to eat great foods, and you're not going to just say, oh, well, we traveled, so I guess I'll go to fast food place, or I guess I'll go out for lunch and get that huge burger. And it's like, well, no, that doesn't give you that opportunity. You've got to make the choice, and you've got to remember that your goals and your big yes are more important than just saying, oh, whatever, I'm just going to do this instead.
Yeah. I think you're inspiring me. You know, I think you and I could probably go all day on like this stuff that we're but I guess this will be my my Todd Durkin and then some. You know, Todd always says and then some. So here's my and then some. One, remember, just because you have a new plan, you're not a new person. You didn't wake up January 1st as a perfect person. So I like how you were saying, John, yeah, so the second something goes wrong and it doesn't go as planned, you know, you're not perfect. You know, you're not going to be perfect. I've lived my whole life as an imperfect person. I think that we all do. I haven't met anybody who's perfect yet. So just remember, you know, it's 90-10. You're shooting for like a 90%. You're trying to stay, you know, on that Dean's list or whatever. You know, you're trying to keep your A's, but it's not a perfect A. It's not a straight A. So just be okay with that. And then I like what you were saying about, you know, maybe today you go to Whole Foods, or even if you wind up at a restaurant that you weren't expecting, because there's always going to be birthdays, there's always going to be events and things like that. I'm going to say to get something you never had, you got to be willing to do something you've never done. To get something you never had, you got to be willing to do something you've never done. So in order to look different, you're going to have to be different. If you're at the restaurant and you're actually taking the time to research what's the best choice on the menu, like so you got your phone out and you're Googling and people are starting to pick on you because they're, hey, you're taking this too far. Yeah. You're on track. You're on track. If you're here and nobody does that, then you're on track, because most of the world's obese and has weight problems and has all kinds of health problems. So you're on track if you're acting different. So first thing is, remember you're not perfect. Second thing is, remember to be different, right? Different than you have been. You're shooting to be above average. You know, you're staying. Everybody else isn't, but it won't be perfect scores every day.
Good stuff, man. Yeah. Well, I hope everyone watching this has gleaned as much good stuff as I have from this. We got 5 pillars and then some from Travis Barnes of Journey. So I want to say Journey 333.
That's right. That's where we're now. Coming
out. Love it, man. Well, it's a pleasure as always, dude. I always get fired up when I talk to you as well. So I'm ready to go after my day right now. This is good. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate your time, Travis.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.